Hi, this video is a very quick review of 33 books which I have read so far this year. So if you're into books, continue watching. Hope you like it. So the first book of the year for me was My Roommate is a Vampire by Jenna Levine. If you don't know, that is a romantasy. I'm looking into my notes. Now, why you should read this book? If you're into 300-year-old vampire and a human girl romance, if you want to read a happy read, if you are interested in age gap romance, if you want a funny side character in books, if you want to see how a senile vampire make love, and if you want to read some of the spice content, and also if you want to see how a vampire accommodates in modern world and also closed proximity, then this book is for you. I rated this book as 4.5 stars because this was first romantasy of the year for me. Hence, good marks for first book. The next one was Verity. I really enjoyed that book. It's a thriller basically. The writing is very compelling, as well as especially after mid book it became kind of scary for me, so I would consider this book under horror category as well. Otherwise, it was a nice quick read, very good thriller, and my first Colleen Hoover. I rated this book as 5 stars. I highly recommend this book. The next one was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. It's also thriller, and if you're looking for a book with murder, mystery, investigation, detectiveness, cute YA romance stint, and research oriented storyline, then this book is for you. Keep in mind that the content of this book is extremely thoroughly well thought and written. I highly admire Holly Jackson for that part, because so far I haven't read any book with such deep research content and also giving references with the modern society, modern social media stuff. So for this suspense, quick and very intriguing read, I gave it 5 stars. The next one is Cruel Prince. Oh my god, my favorite so far. Who should read this book? If you're into understandable fantasy, easy word building, first person POV, if you're into politics, immortal mortal rivalry, dynamic characters, passion to succeed or passion to do good, if you're into enemies to lovers, though this book didn't have much enemies to lovers storyline, but you will get the point. And also if you want to read very compelling and very interesting environment based storyline, then this book is for you. I rated this book 5 stars undoubtedly, and it's not a romantasy, it's just fantasy. The book remains with you even after you have read the book. I read this book in February and it's May already, and still I can feel the sense of warmth which this book gave me. The next one was Shatter Me. I'm sorry, it's very hyped book all over the internet. I didn't like it, I still don't like it. I slept on it and I thought about it again and again, but I didn't like it. It's a fantasy, some say it's a romantasy, but okay, let's consider it romantasy. I gave it 3 stars. Also, there was some initiation of love triangle. So basically the story is about a girl who has special powers, and whoever touches the girl dies. Okay, this is the story. And who should read this book? If you are into character building, if you like fantasy, love triangles, and if you want to experience a good intriguing writing style, a different writing style, then this book is for you. Nothing special, I'm sorry. It was kind of a bit draggy for me because, okay, 3 stars for me, Shatter Me by Tare Mafi. Next one is Twisted Love. It's a contemporary romance. 3 stars. I'm so sorry. I gave this book 3 stars. Who should read this book? If you are into enemies to lovers, brothers, BFF. If you are into books with 2 POVs. If you are into spice, smut, everything. If you want possessive romantic relationship, possessive obsessive also. And if you are looking for a palate cleanser sort of a book, a very quick summer read, then this book is for you. Twisted Love. And the last book which I read in February was Love Hypothesis by Ailey Hazelwood. It was my first Ailey Hazelwood and no disappointments at all. If you don't know anything about writing style of Ailey Hazelwood, so she writes very academia heavy storylines, but regardless, the content, the story never disappoints. So who should read this book? If you're into academia, if you are into fake dating tropes, if you like professor researcher love story, if you are into age gap romances, if you like bit cheesy yet fast and temporary reads, and if you like cute bantery stuff, and if you love funny, lovely side characters or friends, then this book is for you. Writing was undoubtedly charming, sort of. I liked it, but initially I was not liking it because I found it a bit draggy for my taste. Like the communication style was kind of draggy for me, but later on I realized that it's her writing style and I really appreciate it. I've read, I believe, 3 books so far from Ailey Hazelwood and I have loved all the books. This one was first, Love Hypothesis. I rated this book as 4.5 stars. The next month I read first one was ACOTAR, A Coat of Thorn and Roses, first book in the series. It's a fantasy romantasy. If you are into fairies, if you are into enemies to lovers, and if you are into politics, games, revenge, and all of those things, then this book is for you. This is very raved about, very hyped book all over the internet by Sarah J. Maas, and I wanted to read this book. Okay, so I've written that the content was vast, to grasp, to read, and to comprehend. Excellent writing, intriguing characters. Though this book was an ensnaring read, yet I've rated this book as 4.5 stars because, as per the hype, I was expecting more out of the book, but it was okay. And also, during the last few pages, I got really confused. Okay, so 4.5 stars only. I'm sorry, Sarah. Next one is Wicked King, the second one in Cruel Prince series. It's a fantasy, again enemies to lovers trope, again politics, fairies. I think everyone says that this book is better than the first one, but to be very honest, I didn't like this book. Yeah, I mean, it was good, 4 stars for me, but not of 5 stars that I had expected. The plots and subplots in this one were good, no doubt. Her writing is very good, and the minor twists in the story were very enticing as well. And last 60 pages are full of content. Okay, last 60 pages are very twisty, very intriguing, and compensates for the whole book. So for the last 60 pages, I rated this book as 4 stars. Otherwise, I would have rated it as 3.5. Wicked King. I was expecting more, but I was kind of, I got lost while reading the book. I was not able to concentrate. So yeah. Next one is 7 Years Slip. So far, my favorite read of the year. Very warm, very wholesome, and very summery, very cute and emotional book. I wanted to give this 6 stars, but I gave it 5 stars only. It's a contemporary time travel romance. If you want to see detailed descriptions or reviews, I'll let you know. Okay, all I want to say is it was very emotional. Basically, the story is about a girl who got inheritance in the form of an apartment from her aunt, which is magical in nature, which goes back in time 7 years to be very precise. And it goes back in time, and something happens when the house takes her back 7 years in time. I should rate this book 6 stars because even while I'm talking about this book, I'm getting goosebumps. I really love this book, and the feeling a book gives you when, even after so many months. So I read this book in March. I read this book in March, and somehow I still feel the book. So okay, let's rate it 6 stars. It was such an emotional read for me. Her aunt had died, and I don't like deaths and all in books, especially in contemporary books. So it was very emotional read for me, yet I really enjoyed it, and I was smiling, I was crying, I was shocked, I was happy, and as well as I was surprised throughout the book. So I highly recommend, if you are not into books and you want to read a book and you want to feel good, 7 Years Slip is for you. Okay, the next one is Good Girl Bad Blood. It's a thriller Murder Mystery again by Holly Jackson. It's the part 2 of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and this book was okayish for me. Okay, I rated it as 4 stars, all because of the content. But story was kind of predictable for me. I had already, calculated the storyline in my mind, so kind of predictable read for me. Yet the twists were nice. Writing is as well as chef's kiss writing, but not a 5 star. Okay, good summer read, good investigation murder mystery read. Next one is Housemaid. It's a 6 star read for me. It's a thriller, it's a murder mystery. It's a murder mystery. First of all, the way the book is written is very enticing. You will only turn pages and you will not leave your seat. That's what happened with me. I really loved this book, and I completed this book in single sitting. Housemaid. What I've written is what a read. What a read. Anyone can read this book and anyone can feel the sense of horror and suspense throughout the book. Very good twists and turns throughout the book. Very, very easy read, and also rather funny ending. So I really loved this book. 6 star reads for me, Housemaid, Frida McFadden. Next one is Song of Achilles. I'm sorry, I know it's a very hyped book. I didn't like it. It's not my taste. Greek mythological book, very poetically written. It's nice, no doubt. The writing is very beautiful, but I was not able to understand the story. I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with the book. If you are into mythology, if you are into Greek poetic writing, lyrical writing, then this book is for you. If you are into cute, wholesome love stories, then this book is for you. And also, what I've written is very beautifully written sentences on page number 21 and 26 if you want to have some reference. Greek tropes are not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was trying to understand, but I was on the verge of DNFing the book. But yet, I'm a trooper. I completed the book and didn't like it much. I'm sorry. The next one is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson, I believe. It's a thriller murder mystery. Again, 3 star for me. First of all, it's a third person POV, and I don't understand third person POV very easily. It's difficult for me, I only like first person POVs. And it was slow. It was quite slow. It's nice. The way it's written is nice. It's back and forth throughout the book. But I was getting confused. So I gave it 3 stars. It was slow for me. For me, the story started at around page number 100. So till then, it was very slow paced. Next one is Better Than the Movies. And guess what? At page number 20, I DNF'd this book because first, I don't like extremely cheesy books. I don't like teenage romance. I don't like college romance, girly. I don't like it. So I started reading, and by page number 20, I was pretty sure that this book is not my cup of tea. But then I picked the book again after 1 week. Kid you not, this book is this book is so good. This book is very emotional. I don't have words. It's 5.5 stars for me. It's a wow book. You will feel it. Ignore the first 20, 25, 50 pages. Then the story will pick up. And it reminded me of something of my childhood, of my teenage years. And I'm very glad that I picked this book again. Because as I mentioned, I'm a trooper. I don't just DNF any book. I give it a go at least for 100 pages and then I DNF a book. If you are into contemporary romance, sort of enemies to lovers, childhood romance, teenage stuff, warm, wholesome, summery reads, then this book is for you. Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Next one is Hating Game by Sally Thorne. Contemporary romance. Who should read this book if you are into funny writing, cute banter, enemies to lovers trope, adorable characters, easygoing office, love stories, possessive love. I think this book had age gap trope as well. I don't remember. If you want to have a quick read, this book is for you. Yes, this book had age gap, office love, enemies to lovers, contemporary romance, and also this book had spice. So please don't read if you are underage. I rated this book as 4 stars. For the month of April, I read Butcher and the Blackbird. Oh my god, this book is full of spice, very hot, full of smut. If you are underage, please don't read this book. Okay, it's a contemporary romance. Basically, this book is about serial killers who kill serial killers. Okay, the girl is very badass, bossy. I believe she was bossy and full of self respect and all of those things. Falls in love with the another serial killer murderer, but full of smart, adult romance, no doubt, very passionate love and everything. Content warning. The thing which I really loved about this book was jumping timelines, like very quick shifts in time. I liked it. I rated as 3.5 stars. Next one is Theoretically by Ailey Hazelwood. Again, contemporary romance filled with academia. I rated it as 3.75 only because you can read this book and you can enjoy it for what it is. And I was initially expecting something more out of this book, but this was again the same storyline, same structure of the story. It's not that the story is bad or the book is bad. No, it's amazing. But it's amazing. It's a quick read, good read, fun read. But I was expecting more out of this book. So hence such rating. Again, academia, fake dating style with age gap. Ailey Hazelwood books are generally romance with age gaps. Okay, I like it. Next one is Fourth Wing. Okay, a 6-star read for me. I don't know what people say, what people have to say, what people have to hate about this book. This was my first dragon book. Fantasy, romantasy and everything. I really enjoyed this book from the bottom of my heart. Dragons, enemies to lovers, academia, games and everything. I really love this book. I know people say that maybe, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm not quoting anyone, but I heard somewhere that it's a copy of some other book, or the tropes or the storyline is similar to some other book. I haven't read any book which is similar to this book. So for me, this is the first dragon read, and maybe I'll encounter some other book which is similar to this book. Then we'll see what happens. But so for now, this is a 6-star read for me, and I think it's going to be my favorite book forever. Yeah. Next is King of Pride. I wanted to give this book 2-star ratings, but I gave it 2.5. Contemporary romance. Second chance in romance. Second chances I don't like. Never. Failed marriage. I don't like. Spicy and all about, sex and all. So basically, not my type. Troublesome marriage. They were trying to resolve their issues in the marriage. At first, the guy was so much into business, making money and everything, and then kind of ignored his wife. And then later on, she asked for divorce, got divorced, and then he tried to, get her back. Next is Queen of Nothing. It's third in the Cruel Prince series, and I found this book epic. 6-star read for me, no doubt. I am very generous in giving ratings. My ratings go till 6, and they might go to 7 also, I don't know, in future. But so far, 6 is the highest, like something epic which I've read. The storyline was amazing for me. The story around Taran, Jade, and Madoc. And also there was some elements of love. Finally, we got to see the love, enemies to lovers, transformation we got to see. And it's a awe read for me. I found this one quite warm and emotional. After a slow burn which continued till 2 books, this third book has elements of love. It's a young adult book. You can read this book if you are underage. This book is cute, perfect fantasy book. This series is my favorite series so far. I haven't read Iron Flame, so I can't say anything about Fourth Wing or this Empyrean series. But so far, this series is my favorite series, and this book is my favorite book of the series. 6-star read for me. I always love enemies to lovers trope. I read Magic, Movies and Murder. First part. It's a fantasy murder mystery. I went into this book blindly. I was not expecting anything. This book was filled with Halloweeny stuff. It's very autumny, very Halloweeny. I really loved the book. Very warm book. Okay. It is filled with vampire, werewolf, gargoyles, ghosts. Every supernatural character is in this book. It's a murder mystery. It's a young adult book. You can read this book. It's on Kindle. It's free of cost. I rated this book as 4 stars. It's very cozy. It's simple book. It's very predictable. But sometimes predictable books are good. Predictable books make you happy, make you cozy. So I love to read predictable books, especially if they are vampire related or Halloweeny. It's a single sitting read. So next one is Vampire Knitting Club Part 1, again from Kindle. It's a fantasy. It's very interesting read. What happens is vampires are learning how to knit. So they have made a clique or a club and they learn how to knit, and they knit such pretty sweaters. This is not the book about book is about murder mystery. It's vampire knitting romance as well as murder mystery, though there was no thorough description of any romantic elements, but yet we will get the point. Romance was brewing. It's a young adult, no doubt, not particularly dark academia, but yeah, based out of Oxford. And the last one which I read in April was Bride by Lee Hazelwood. It's a fantastic read. It's a romantasy filled with spice and smut. But guess what? I have read a book, How to Fake It with a Fae, on Kindle, and I found that book a combination of Bride and ACOTAR. Yeah, I rated this book as 4.5 stars. Anything vampire is my favorite thing. Forced marriage trope with close proximity. They have to get into the arrangement of marriage for the betterment of the society or the betterment of relationships with human and vampires and werewolves societies. Lots of lovemaking, badass main character, badass or rather insolent main character, funny, witty, cute sub character. In the month of May, I read Alice in Wonderland. I believe my battery is about to die, so I should be quick. First, I read Alice in Wonderland because I read it while I was in school and I forgot about it, so I read it again. It's a children's story. It's a classic, so classics are always good. It's fantasy, and I rated it as 3.5 stars. It's very weird book. Also, after reading the book, I researched about the author. I forgot his name. I think it's Lewis Carroll, and I found out some weird stuff about him, the inspiration behind Alice in Wonderland. Also, that may be the reason I didn't like the story. Next, I started reading Ninth House by Lee Bardugo. It's a fantasy murder mystery, ghosts and magic society related story, which guess what? I have DNF'd it so far. I might be picking this book again sooner or later. Page number 200 and I have DNF'd it because there was so much content, there was so much writing. I got very anxious while reading that book, so I have DNF'd it for time being. I'll read it for sure. I'll complete it, don't worry. Next one is Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. It's a fantasy romantasy and enemies to lovers, not exactly, but misunderstanding maybe. And if you are into books, if you are into libraries, if you want to visualize talking books, fighting books, spitting books, clapping books, running books, then this book is for you. This book is filled with magical life of books. Who should read this book? If you are into slow, flowery, poetic writing and slow fantasy reads. Writing was a little bit draggy for me, so I had to skim, but overall it was nice and you can feel the environment in your veins. That's how well it was written. And it has a great library, sorcery, magic, cutesy, teenage-ish love affair, and I would say it's a delightful rainy day read, if you will. I rated it as 3.5 stars. Next one is Anastasia, My Royal Story. It's a historical fiction, my first historical fiction, and oh boy, I loved this book so much. I picked it up on a whim. I am not into historical fictions. Never gonna read Babel or Secret History of Donna Tartt or something like that. But I would have never guessed that I will like this book this much. This book is diary entries of a teenage girl. I think she was 16 or 17. Diary entries of a teenage girl who was the last Duchess of Tsar of Russia. And upon the request of her father, she started writing a diary. The diary entries show or they depict the downfall of her father's reign. I'm getting goosebumps right now. It's very raw, very wholesome, mischievous, and very emotional read because they were filthy rich and then then their life turned upside down. It's very sad book, but this book is amazing. Almost living like beggars, as prisoners, and in the end, whole family was assassinated, wrongly assassinated. Very sad read, but a 6 star. I would any day recommend this book to anyone. I would like to say real and wholesome book based out of true events of history. Next one is Rock, Paper, Scissors. 4 star read for me. Though I really loved the beginning and the end was mind blowing. Let's rate it 4.5 stars for the end. Contemporary, second chance, also revenge, horrorish. It's kind of scary at times, okay? You will feel it. There were lots of twists, compelling writing, it keeps you hooked till the very end. Almost similar to Housemaid or Verity, kind of like, at least for me. There was revenge, horror, page turning book with second chances, elements of second chances. Even at the end of the book, you won't be able to guess things. So that's why 4.5 stars. Also, this book depicts elements of career desperation, also about hopeless love and betrayal, cheating. Cheating is the theme. So this month I read three self-help books as well. First one is Keep Going, second one is Steal Like an Artist, and third one is Game of Life and How to Play It. I don't read self-help books, but guess what? These books are very good. Keep Going is about how to keep going as a creative, how to not feel drained and overwhelmed and thrive in your craft. It's a precautionary anti-burnout read. That's what I would like to mention it as. Second one, How to Steal Like an Artist, is about how to get inspired by other artists, not to copy them but get inspired by them, and also how to get in the flow of creativity. The author has written this book in a very creative, fun manner. Only because of the writing style of the book, I picked these books and I really enjoy them. I think these are by John Kelton. I don't remember. And the last self-help book, A Game of Life and How to Play It by Florence. I don't know how to pronounce her second name. So this book is again about mindset, how to change the mindset, in order to succeed in life or in order to change your life. I would like to say that if you have read Secret, this book is better than Secret, at least for me. Okay, now 2 books I'm left with. How to Fake It with the Fae. Again, I read it on Kindle. It's a romantasy, enemies to lovers revenge, love story of a fae and a witch filled with magic and books. This was the book which I was referring to earlier, that I found this book kind of combination of Bride and ACOTAR with the elements of both of these books. So read it once and let me know if you agree with me or not. I rated this book as 4 stars because it was a fun read for me. Enemies to lovers, kind of spicy, adult romance between fae and witches, as well as cute fall vibes filled with books, magical books in which you can go, travel and be a part of story and act and do everything. So this book has a bookshop in which you can go inside the book, be a part of the story and act, perform and have fun while being in the book itself. That was fun element, that was a new thing, so that's why I like this book. And the last book which I read this month was House of Hunger. It's a gothic, romantasy, horror and vampirish read. It was recommended to me by a subscriber, so thank you. It consists of blood maids. It's divided between 2 provinces. There is north and there is south. And in north live rich people who drink blood. And then there are blood maids who give their blood so that these rich people can live longer, can get over their sickness and become more youthful and all of those things. Full of passion and aggression, almost vampirish. But if you are not into gruesome or gory stuff, then this book is not for you. This book is filled with graphics, so a warning for those who are not into graphics or not into gore. Otherwise, this book is a fresh perspective on vampires, bloodletting, blood maids and everything. Also, it's LGBTQ friendly. There is power hunger, there is a zeal to survive, there is mystery horror. Very easily understandable, yet it's a very nice fantasy read. The book is filled with obsession, and power, and love, and also obsession towards how to change a luck or how to change destiny. House of Hunger by, I think it's by Alexis Henderson. And currently I'm reading Where the Dark Stands Still.